It is Friday, August 16th, 2024. Morning on Merritt Street starts right now. We're going to start with our top story this morning, that dramatic twist in the Matthew Perry investigation. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada talking to the media, providing explosive developments here.
Following Mr. Perry's death in October of last year, law enforcement, my office, and our partners represented on this stage began an in-depth, wide-ranging investigation. That investigation has revealed a broad, underground criminal network responsible for distributing large quantities of ketamine to Mr. Perry and others. This network included a live-in assistant, various go-betweens, 2 medical doctors, and a major source of drug supply known as, quote, the ketamine queen. We charged 5 defendants in this matter. These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves. They knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew what they were doing was risking great danger to Mr. Perry, but they did it anyways. In the end, these defendants were more interested in profiting off Mr. Perry than caring for his well-being.
Joining us now is federal defense attorney Ronald Chapman. This was a very elaborate scheme. Can we expect any more arrests or charges related to this investigation?
Well, I think that they've captured most people involved in this alleged scheme. It's clear that we've got 2 doctors involved, as well as the quote-unquote ketamine queen, and several plea agreements have already been made in this case, which means that the indictments and complaints were unsealed for the purposes of presenting this to the public, because those pleas and sentences are now going to become a public matter. I think that they've got pretty much everybody involved in this. I don't expect any additional charges unless there are additional charges brought against those already named.
Ronald, the DEA is pursuing an initiative to actually crack down on the prescribing of ketamine and other controlled substances through online providers. How would that change the current regulations?
Well, we're still waiting for the current regulations from the DEA. In short, some of the flexibilities that have been extended to prescribing physicians during COVID-19 are still in effect until the DEA enacts a new rule. Basically, what that means is online ketamine prescribers, as well as Adderall and other controlled substances that we can get online, are still currently widely available, and the DEA has not enacted regulations to tell providers exactly what they're supposed to do. Now, I think that Matthew Perry was dealing with physicians in person, and he was actually seeing those physicians, so it's not as clear of an implication there. But the concern for the public and for the DEA right now is that unless something is done about regulations with respect to prescribing controlled substances, physicians aren't really going to have sufficient knowledge to know the limits of the law. And that's a very serious concern as we see the sort of explosion of ketamine therapy in the United States.
Yes, I want to.
But Ronald, how much of a problem is the risk of off-label use of ketamine through maybe unregulated clinics or even via telemedicine?
Well, that's it. Right now, ketamine infusion therapy is currently an off-label use of ketamine, which means doctors are still able to do it according to the law. There's no federal regulation saying you can't do it. But the concern here is there's not necessarily the research that has been published that supports the use of it, the dose of it, and more importantly, there's no specific guidance as to how ketamine clinics are supposed to run when they're doing ketamine infusion therapy. We are seeing cash-based ketamine clinics pop up everywhere with very little regulation accepting cash for payment. And that's a ripe area for the DEA to start investigating and targeting prescribers.
Yes.
Attorney Ronald Chapman, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, we appreciate you.